One of the biggest keys on Monday night will be how this insanely talented offense attacks the highly regarded New York Jets defense. The other keys, however, defensively, how will the 49ers stop the run and have they fixed that problem? And secondly, and perhaps most importantly, how do the 49ers attack one of the top quarterbacks in the league, Aaron Rodgers? I and several coaches and players, by the way, believe that we have the missing key, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Plus, later in this show, I have great news on Christian McCaffrey and an awesome take from Richard Sherman, plus more. If you're new here, I'm Nate. I love talking about the 49ers. Please consider a like and sub if you haven't yet. The headline is this: Nick Bosa envisions that Leonard Floyd will have the best year of his career with the 49ers. Let's go. That's what you want to hear, and I got a lot to break down related to Leonard Floyd, and I can't wait to go through all of it with you. But first, comment below, how many sacks will Leonard Floyd and Nick Bosa combine for this season? Ooh, okay. Leonard Floyd plus Nick Bosa, okay, bouncing off one another, assuming they're both healthy, knock on wood. How many sacks will these two guys have this season? I think Bosa's about to have a resurgence of his DPOY kind of form, and Leonard Floyd is about to get some of the best help he's ever had in terms of competing edge rusher on the same team. Obviously, he's played with some big name dudes. I'm not going to try and act like Aaron Donald and Khalil Mack and Von Miller are nobodies in the league. But all that being said, I think that there's going to be something a little bit different with what being on the opposite side of Nick Bosa is going to do for his career, better than Von Miller. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, though. This is going to be really interesting. I'm looking forward to joining you there and seeing the numbers stack. I'm thinking in the 20s for sure. I mean, the two of them combined, let's go. It's got to be in the 20s. If we're talking DPOY form plus Leonard Floyd, yeah, okay. In addition to accidentally knocking Aaron Rodgers out for the entire season last year, Leonard Floyd managed to cap his fourth consecutive year over 9 sacks. You've probably heard that 1,000 times by now, with an impressive 10.5 sack season for the Buffalo Bills. Nick Bosa spoke about how important Leonard Floyd is to this football team and is hoping for some heavy production out of him this season, thinking he's going to have the best year. Here's some info from Nick Bosa. I hope he's going to have the best year of his career, which is saying a lot because he's a great player, Bosa said as the 49ers prepared to open the regular season on Monday night against Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. The 49ers have been unable to find much of a pass rush on the other side of Bosa since he came to the team as the number 2 overall pick in the 2019 draft. The 49ers' top producing outside pass rushers in recent years have given 3.5 sacks last season, 5 in 2022, and 4.5 in 2021. Not the kind of production you need out of there, and that's why Cleveland Farrell, goodbye. The 49ers defensive line underwent an overhaul. Talking about Cleveland Farrell, Eric Armstead, Javon Kinlaw, Chase Young, Randy Gregory, which Javon Kinlaw is going to be coming back. He's going to have a lot to prove. He's going to be feeling it for sure. Newcomers include Floyd, Yetur Gross-Matos, Malik Collins, and Jordan Elliott. I really like the new guys Bosa said. I think we've improved. I think Leonard brings something to our defense that we haven't had. A guy that can make plays all over the field and has a motor. He doesn't get tired. Having a guy like that who is super long, athletic, and can rush, and I think this scheme is going to bring out the best of him. So I'm excited. I really am. Not just Nick Bosa's feelings. I've got opinions from great other offensive and defensive minds. I said offensive, defensive minds. And I am really excited to get into those. The Niners, by the way, haven't had a guy other than Bosa to have more than 8.5 sacks since 2012. But will Floyd be as good or better with the 49ers like Nick Bosa thinks? Will he fit into this system? Here's what Staley, Floyd's position coach in Chicago and defensive coordinator in LA, said. I knew he was going to be a great fit for what John and Kyle Shanahan expect out of a defensive player. He's one of these all-day playing types of player. He is a real throwback in that sense. Sean McDermott on Leonard Floyd. That's one of my guys right there. He may not be the biggest guy, but he's just as tough as the biggest guys out there and just as durable. He played last season with some bumps and bruises, and he didn't complain about it. He's a warrior. a warrior. I lost my spot. And he's not wrong, by the way. Aaron Branch from the San Francisco Chronicle had an excellent article quoting these dudes and some other things and earlier this week. But he pointed out something similar, saying that Floyd has played in 108 straight games, including playoffs, despite dealing with a broken hand, an ankle injury, and required surgery and a cracked rib in his 10.5 sack season with the Bills last year. Leonard Floyd hasn't always been impressive, though. Eric Branch also quoted Coach Kocurek on Floyd saying this: "You watched him at Georgia on the silent tape, and he was the most explosive guy on the field. He used a lot of speed to beat college tackles, and then in the NFL, these guys are really athletic. You can't just beat guys with speed. You've got to learn how to keep guys honest with underneath counters and powers. It's a testament to him as his career has continued. He's really ascended." So this is the player that has developed and gotten better, and so far has not found his ceiling. I don't think yet, anyway. That's my take, okay? But what's not to love about Leonard Floyd, guys? This guy fits 49ers culture. Nick Bosa expects him to be incredible. Staley's a massive fan. McDermott's a massive fan. Kocurek is impressed. And if that's all enough, I have one more point for you. Leonard Floyd, the Leonard Floyd that aspires to retire on his 8-acre farm. I think he's made enough money to own a little more than 8 acres in Georgia, but whatever the case, he wants to live the simple life, similar to, Brock Purdy. You can respect that he brings the simple life to his own lifestyle. And as a famous person, you respect this take. This is Leonard Floyd here. The part that's appealing to me is the 100 yards of green grass and sacking the quarterback. That's the love. Outside of that, media and stuff, I really don't care to be involved. I just like to show up and play ball. And that is a guy you respect, is it not? I mean, I love a guy like this. This guy, I love him more and more every time I learn more about him. I'm just a fan of him. I'm excited to watch him. I have a buddy, a neighbor who's across the street who's a diehard Bills fan. And every time I talk to him, I'm asking him about, what are the Bills doing here? What are they doing here? Is Khalil Shakir, is he the guy? And what happened with Leonard Floyd? Why'd they let him go? Anyway, boy, he's just shaking his head. He has no idea what's going on. Okay, let's get to the other stuff here. That was all Leonard Floyd fodder. Hopefully you are excited about Leonard Floyd. I'm excited about Leonard Floyd. I'm really excited for him. Let's get into some other stuff here. John Lynch on Christian McCaffrey's calf injury. Christian is doing great. He looks like Christian, and that's a good thing for us. Obviously, we want to see him progress throughout the week, but he takes tremendous care of his body. He'll be out there and ready to roll on Monday Night Football. Let's go. John Lynch on relationships with players after tough contract negotiations, talking about you-know-who, specifically Brandon Aiyuk and Trent Williams. Forgive and forget. I think that's the way that goes both ways. These things get intense, but one thing I've learned as you go, from being in intense negotiations to hugging them, a big part of their live stream just came true. That's a big thing, and our team is set up now too. That's awesome, man. I love John Lynch. He is so grounded. He's really grounded. I think I showed you guys a clip, back when they signed BA last week, of the way that he interacted with Brandon Aiyuk's son. And just like how cool that is, man. Like, he is such a grounded individual. I love John Lynch. All right, here's what Richard Sherman had to say about the 49ers Super Bowl hopes this year.
But again, the San Francisco 49ers, time's ticking. It has to be now. A lot of tough decisions next year, but I feel really good with Trent Williams back in the building. I think he solidifies this team. I think he's an enforcer. I think he's a leader. Obviously, one of the best football players in the National Football League. I feel really good about them being a 1 or 2 seed in the NFC this year. The San Francisco 49ers are winning the Super Bowl. All this turmoil, all this all-season drama gets overshadowed by a Super Lombardi trophy. The quest for 6 ends is what I say. Again, I was really close last year, but my goodness, what an overtime win for the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, yeah, we didn't need to hear that reminder about the overtime win against the Kansas City Chiefs. We watched them last night, and they looked like they somehow got better. Moving on, though. Love the take, though. The take from Richard Sherman. Nick Sorensen says the quarterback plan for week 1 is what we saw early in training camp, which is base is Charvarius Ward and Deommodore Lenoir. No surprise there. Nickel outside starters is Charvarius Ward and Isaac Yiadom, where Lenore will be in the slot. So there's your answer to if Renardo Green managed to find his way into the starting lineup. He did not. He'll be in the rotation is what it sounds like, but he is not going to be the starter, and that's okay, right? We're okay. Isaac Yiadom's a great player. We're going to be okay with a rookie being able to have a little bit of time to find his legs. Brock Purdy says he and Brandon Aiyuk haven't missed a beat. Here's how he phrased it.
When it comes to our base, route trees, our concepts, and him running and me throwing him out of his breaks, I'm not gonna lie, it feels pretty normal. It feels pretty good, and obviously I remember him a lot, just how he runs and how he moves compared to like Jawan and Deebo. Like they're all different, but I remember how BA moves, and if you ask me, I feel like we've been connecting pretty well.
Exactly what Brian Baldinger, and sorry for the low quality audio on that one. I should have bumped that thing up. Brian Baldinger said the exact same thing. At the end of the day, these two guys he's thrown the football to him enough times. They're going to be comfortable. He knows his routes. Yeah, maybe it'll take a day or two to kind of be crisp with him. But at the end of the day, he knows his route tree, and Brock Purdy knows how he breaks out of his routes. It's going to be just fine. And I love that. That's a good reminder. One more thing from Brock Purdy today, by the way, asked by Larry Kruger. Great question here, asking about the Jets' top 3 corners. Listen to what he had to say.
This team has 3 really good corners. What do they look like on film when you watch them?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I just feel like they have like a lot of experience, and they have a good natural feel for the game, and sort of understanding like concepts that offenses are running. And they're smart, and obviously they're very athletic. Sauce Gardner's got some great length. DJ Reed's really quick, smart, gritty, and so for us, it's gonna be a great challenge. And anytime we're gonna push the ball outside the numbers or anything like that, it's just got to be smart and aware of those guys because they're really, really good corners. So.
And Larry Kruger's take on that was pretty unsurprising. You can tell by his answer that he's watched them extensively on film. Great take from Larry Kruger there, and a good question as well. So all the credit there to him. 3 days away, guys. 3 days till Aaron Rodgers is in town. I say that like I'm in Santa Clara right now. I'm not. I'm in Denver, but whatever. 3 days until Aaron Rodgers comes to San Francisco and plays the 49ers, and it's going to be awesome. I can't wait for it. It's going to be a heck of a game. I'm feeling like a little nervous about it because a lot of things have to go right. A lot of things have to click. And, with how weird this offseason has been and how things have changed a little bit, just be interesting to see how it all plays out. But I have confidence in the individual talent times a million. So even if this game doesn't look like the sharp 49ers we were expecting to see, and even if this is week 1 kind of feeling football, that's all right. I'm going to take that, right? It's better than not Lamar. Jalen Hurts going out there tonight. I caught the opening of the game, first 2 drives, one of them in a fumble, one of them in a pick, almost a pick 6. So, there you have it. All right. Week 1 football can be nasty. And if it ends up being a little bit of a week 1 football situation, doesn't feel totally crisp, that's okay because the individual talent and the great coaching staff is going to figure it out pretty quickly. I'd like to think anyway. All right, man. I'm feeling optimistic as always. No surprises there. What a time to be alive.